If you watched my video on 5 reasons you should be eating sardines every day, you know the response was kind of wild. So many of you said that you started eating them and noticed amazing changes to your health. But just as many of you were like, okay, but what if I hate sardines? And honestly, I get it. I used to be the same. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you some ways to make sardines actually taste good. These aren't complex recipes, I'm not about that at all, but little additions you can make to make them taste better. And if you still can't get on board, I do have a backup option for you, which we'll get to at the end. First thing, you don't have to eat them straight out of the tin. That's where most people go wrong. The biggest game changer for me was grilling them. And I know it does sound a bit weird, especially if you're using tin sardines, but trust me on this. The first time I grilled them, I was genuinely shocked. It completely toned down that strong fishy taste. They crisp up slightly, the texture changes, and they just taste way better. All it takes is 1 to 2 minutes on each side. And you can do this with fresh sardines as well, of course, which is even better if you can get them. But even with tin sardines, this works. My second tip is to add flavor. Don't just eat them plain. Something as simple as adding salsa on top changes everything. The acidity, the freshness, it cuts through that richness and makes them way more enjoyable. In my opinion, of course. You can also add things like lemon juice, chili flakes, or olive oil. And one note on olive oil, I know you can buy tin sardines in olive oil, and that can be okay. You definitely want to avoid them in soybean oil, canola oil, rice bran oil, anything else. All of those are toxic and taking away from the benefits of sardines. If you can buy them in spring water, that's the ideal. But if you can only find them in olive oil, that's okay too. There's just a little bit more of a risk of the oil oxidizing. So I like to buy in spring water and add olive oil myself. But adding something like this to them makes a big difference. Even mixing them into something like a salad or on top of a high quality sourdough with avocado can make them much easier to eat. Another option is to mash them. This might sound a bit strange, but it works. Mash sardines with things like avocado, lemon, salt, maybe even a bit of Greek yogurt or mustard. This turns it into a bit more of a spread. So you're not getting that full sardine texture in every bite. It's a lot more subtle, especially with that lemon to cut through the taste. And again, coming back to my point of not just eating them out of the tin, find ways to incorporate them into your meals. You can have them with things like fermented vegetables, on top of sourdough, add them to your salads, where they're mixed in and they're not the main focus. You're still getting the benefits, but the flavor isn't overpowering. Because here's the thing, sardines are one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can eat. They're high in omega-3s, protein, creatine, calcium, even collagen from the bones. But a lot of people take individual supplements for these nutrients, but you can get all of them together if you eat sardines. So if you can find a way to include them, to enjoy them, it is so worth it. If the testimonies at the start weren't enough, make sure to watch my video on the benefits of sardines next. I'll link it above. Now, if you've tried all this and you're still like, no, absolutely not, that's where a backup option comes in, and that's sardine capsules. These are different to fish oil or omega-3 capsules because instead of that one isolated nutrient, again, you're getting the full benefits of sardines, not just isolated omega-3. And this is important because when you buy a fish oil and the fat is isolated on its own, it is very fragile. This is why they come in dark bottles. This is why you're supposed to store them in the fridge. But a lot of times they end up oxidizing before you even buy them. They should be kept cold the entire time. You shouldn't be able to buy them off a grocery shelf. They should be in the fridge. But with sardine capsules, they're freeze dried. And because the full fish is still in there, the fat is protected. So of course, first option is always eating the whole food, but if you still can't stand sardines, and I do think they are worth including in your diet, try out the sardine capsules. I'll put the link in the description box down below. But now I want to hear from you guys. Is there a way you like to eat them that you actually enjoy? Let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully we can get a bit of a list going there so people who are struggling to enjoy them can have some more ideas. And if you haven't yet watched my video on the benefits of sardines and why you should be eating them daily, check out the video on the screen now.